Simplified Chaos, episode 138.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Simplified Chaos. This is Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with Nicholas, my co-host and husband.
What's going on, folks? How are y'all doing today? We hope you're having a wonderful week. We've got another great episode here for you today, and we must warn you, this is a high nerd alert episode. So if you like nerdy things, you're going to want to stick around because we actually have some really cool things to drop here today. But Jilly, what are we diving into?
It's all about aligning your phone, or AKA technology, to your values.
Yeah.
Simplifying that shiznit.
That's right. I must confess I'm a phone nerd, so I can't wait to share some knowledge with y'all today.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to be talking a lot on this one just because you are the expertise and efficiency with our phones, and
I've been doing it for a while.
you have.
I have been, and it's I'm excited to share some knowledge with y'all about that today. But before we dive into that, as always, we love to show some gratitude. So, Jilly, what are you grateful for this week?
I'm grateful for Baltimore, man.
Be more. What's up?
I was going to say Lucille. I think I said her last time. Lucille again, just because she's in the stage of like poopy everything. And it's like,
Everything is poop.
I feel like it's just so heavy. Poopy is everywhere in her vocabulary. And then one day you're going to be like, what happened to poopy? Poopy was the thing, and now it's gone. But I'm just savoring that. But no, we had a pretty epic weekend. We went to a wedding, and then we had a little Airbnb getaway in Mount Vernon, right?
Yeah, Mount Vernon, which is a really fun neighborhood in Baltimore. It's a little artsy, but
Very artsy.
Very artsy.
Yeah.
It is, I guess, the arts district of Baltimore. But it's an awesome area, fun to explore. A lot of good food, restaurants, cocktails, you name it. It's all there.
It was it's so cool being able to like stay the night and where we like in the area where we used to live. It just kind of makes me reappreciate the area we grew up in and what was in our fingertips. And it's just, it was just a really nice night being able to like walk to the restaurant and then wake up and, walk and grab coffee and have like a really great chat, just mano-y-mano. And my mom was watching Lucille, super grateful for support. And then
Hell yeah.
we walked into another place and got breakfast, and it was just so nice just to have time together in a really cool city and get some street city walks on, and
Hell yeah.
that cold chilly air. It was really awesome.
It was great. It had an awesome time. Just a pretty epic weekend, and got to see some good friends getting married. A guy that I've known since he was in diapers. So just fun to be part of that. But more especially having that opportunity to have a little getaway with you in our old hometown.
Okay, and before I ask you what you're grateful for, you cannot say your mustache.
I'm not going to say my mustache. And for those of you who have not seen it yet, check out
Oh God.
Check out the Instagram Simplified Chaos. It is Movember. I am growing a pretty epic mustache. And yes, there was confirmation that I should keep this mustache after Movember is over.
Your cocky levels are just off
I wasn't
the
even going to
chain.
bring up the mustache.
I know,
you
and
brought
I did.
it up.
It's because
So now I have to talk about it.
Oh God, that's my fault.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
No, it's okay. A great mustache commands attention, Jilly.
Oh.
You learned that lesson this past weekend.
Yes, two of the things that I learned was that a mustache does command a lot of attention.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Carry on.
So,
What are you grateful for?
mine has something to do with our return to Maryland this past weekend as well. And I am grateful for David's Natural Market, and in particular, the chicken wings that they have there. Holy crap. They are the freshest wings that I've ever had in my entire life, and I always look forward to grilling them because I really don't feel like I can mess them up because they're that damn good. And these are just regular, chicken wings. You get the drums and the flats, and I like to grill them on a little bit of a lower heat for a little bit longer. I think it makes them a little more tender and juicy, but Jill also likes a crispy outside, so that achieves that goal. And we smother them the hell in Old Bay. So yeah, David's Natural Market. I miss you. It was nice having you just 10 minutes down the road from our house, but it's even more special when we go there and are able to bring some chicken home with us.
Yeah, that local farm, pasture-raised, delicious chicken.
So
yummy.
damn good.
It is. Thank you for grilling those. That was a really nice
you're
treat.
welcome. You're very welcome. All right, Jilly, how about we dive into it today? We're going to talk a little bit about how we use technology in order to simplify the everyday chaos in our lives.
Yeah, so I'll probably be just talking more heavily in the beginning, and
Go for it.
I first thought, Nick is very efficient in making technology work for him and support his values versus, distracting him from his values. I think it's a very amazing tool that can easily support what we want out of life, and it can easily drain us and take us down another avenue of just like forgetting those values that we strive for. But as far as our values, and I know Nick's are probably really similar, it's just like health, mindset, family, friends, travel experiences, and growth. And did I miss any? Do you think that's pretty good?
No, I think that's really good.
And I was kind of thinking on like how do I use my phone, or what is on my phone that supports those values? And as far as travel and experience, like having Airbnb, that's like my go-to app. Like that simplifies it tremendously because I never look for hotels. I'm not looking on any other app but Airbnb. So for me, it's like I have that on my phone that helps me get easy access to when we travel and just kind of simplify that chaos around that.
Yeah.
As far as just connecting with family and friends, I feel like Instagram, Google Duo, having email, Facebook even, I do it for coworkers once in a while.
Yeah.
That is like the mainstream connector of like sharing what's going on in our lives so family and friends can see and kind of be a part of that, even though we're, since we're now a little bit further.
And we must preface this conversation as we are both Android users. So there is no FaceTime on our phone. There's no iPhone Messenger or Apple Messenger or whatever it is. So take this as we're coming from the Google ecosystem, but the nice thing is there's a lot of great Google apps that are also available in the Apple App Store. So yeah, just wanted to kind of give that as a precursor for our conversation.
Yeah, I switched over once Nick schooled me on Google, and I haven't gone back to Apple. So yeah, it's been nice.
It has been. So yeah, Google Duo is more of like the FaceTime for those of you who don't know what Google Duo is.
Yeah. As far as like health and mindset, Instagram kind of goes into there as well. I do follow people who uplift me versus do the opposite, and I'm very strategic on who I follow and who I don't follow. So, and also YouTube. I do yoga every day, almost Monday through Friday. That's what I'm striving for. I'm getting there. But I do Adriene. If anyone knows Adriene, she's an amazing yoga instructor. I use that to
Rocky Balboa's wife?
It is not Adriene. No. But she is funny in that sort that she ties in like music and movie quotes like randomly when she's doing something, if it comes to mind, whatever she says, which is kind of funny. But anyway,
I dig that.
That's like my go-to for like moving my body intentionally by myself, versus like the playing with Lucille, which is like chaos and whatever we're playing, I move. And then I have Canva app on my phone for just like a hobby, creativity. Like it fills me. And podcasts, growth. I mean, I feel like I'm always learning something new from podcasts. That's like my mainstream, and like learning more and continuing to grow.
What do you use for pod? Do you listen Google Podcasts?
I do.
Okay.
I just downloaded Spotify just so I could listen to Joe Rogan.
Hey, Joe Rogan. I smoke Rex.
But yeah, I actually deleted some old apps that I had I guess, that I thought I wanted, like, was it Pocket Cast or
Oh
something?
yeah,
I had
yeah.
that, but then I deleted it. And that's what I also realized. Like, I'm grateful for this episode because it made me more intentional and conscious about what's on my phone, what I'm using and what I'm not using, and why is it cluttering up, my digital well-being.
Yeah.
But as far as like apps and things, that is what I concluded about like it adding to my values and aligning to it. And I know I'm gonna let Nick go on because he's like
I've got
the
some
guru
great
of just
stuff for you folks.
and some of these it doesn't necessarily like align to aligns to our values in the sense that what you do creates more time and energy for everything else that we value.
Yes.
Like that is what I'm so intrigued about. And I've already started taking some of his tips. And he's known this for years. And finally I'm like, all right, Nick, like I want to start using this. I realize that it helps you so much and keeps you accountable. And I want to be a little bit more responsible with certain tasks that I'm not so good at doing. And I know I could get better and I know I could save. The thing is, because the motivator is like, I could save money doing certain things that, you have kind of shown me. And anyway, I'm going to stop blabbing and just let Nick take on of just how he has streamlined his phone to just like totally make room for all of our values.
Yeah, and really, the thing that I'm going to take this as a little bit different approach than Jill, because I've got the Airbnb app on my phone, Southwest Airlines, for air travel. So I have that, and amongst the podcast and YouTube, like, I do all the same things as what she mentioned on there. But like really, like my phone is really like my project manager, my life manager. It is my tool for organization and keeping myself straight, and not only myself but what Jill's doing and what we need to do for Lucille, and I can see it being just a huge tool for us to make sure that we're maximizing our downtime together, but also like really optimizing those everyday tasks that we have to do. So, I'm looking at this as a couple of different things, as organization, finance and budgeting, and home automation, which, we'll kind of get into that one last, because not everybody is really into having like smart gadgets within their house. So I'll save that one for last, but there's some interesting things in there that you might want to check out. But organization, number one on my list, and the tool that really helps out most of that, and it's kind of a combination. Like, again, we're in the Google ecosystem. Like I've bought into that ecosystem. Like that is my thing, and so I have a Google Pixel phone, because it really helps out with bringing all the cool things together to help us keep organized. So Google Assistant is like the big thing, and that's how you can talk to your phone and ask it to do things. But I mean, it's so much deeper than just Siri. A Siri. Yeah, it's okay. And Siri does a lot of these same things on the phone. It's just a lot more difficult when you're bringing in Google apps to interact in that system. But I think it has gotten better over the years. But for us, being a Google ecosystem, having a Google phone makes sense. And a lot of people just think of like the assistant as just like asking it to search something, but it's a really deep integration that the Google Assistant has. So think of it like the brain of the phone. Like it's helping control a lot of things, not only like asking for me to search for things or asking me to play music or whatever, but it's also helping me stay organized. And there's a couple of apps that we use to stay organized, and one of them has got to be Google Calendar. Like, even if you have Apple, Google Calendar is a must-have. And really like diving into it and understanding the different types of things that you can put in your calendar. So there's events, and then there's reminders, and then there are tasks that you can put into your calendar, and all of them have their own separate things. So an event is like, basically think of like a meeting, or like having to be somewhere at a certain time. You go ahead and you put the event in your calendar. And what I do is I take it a step further, is I put in the address into the calendar of the event, especially if we have to go somewhere, because going back to the Google Assistant, your Google Assistant will tell you when you need to leave in order to make that event on time based on traffic and whatnot. So I think that's just a really awesome feature to have. So again, you have to have Google Maps to kind of bring all that together so you can kind of see how this is all playing off one another. But I think that's just an amazing tool. It's like, instead of taking the guesswork of like, what time should I leave my house in order to get to this event, Google Maps is going to pop up a notification saying you need to leave your house at 9:28 to make it there at 10 o'clock. I'm like,
which could be very helpful with families with lots of kids and just chaos. You
Yeah.
know, just trying to get out the door can be.
for people who just have a hard time getting to places on time.
No, absolutely. Like that nice reminder.
Yeah. So like events is great. Like that, again, that's just like letting us know where we have to be, when we have to be there, which is amazing. And then there's reminders, and reminders is such a lifesaver for me because you can set a reminder for anything. And so there's a reminders and task. And before I kind of dive into reminders, there is a difference in that. You know, they kind of, usually reminders lead into a task, but to me, like, tasks are part of like a bigger like project or to do kind of thing. Whereas a reminder is like, hey, take out the trash, or hey, pay your bills. You know, it still leads to a task, but it's more of just a reminder because it's something you have to do anyway. It could be just even like call your mom or call your parents or call your brother or whoever. So I love just setting reminders for transferring money at the beginning of the month. You know, on the 29th or the 30th of the month, I get a reminder that pops up saying, hey, transfer your bills and your investment money because that's getting pulled out on the 1st, and as well as the mortgage. Hey, pay your credit card because you want to pay it 10 days before it's due. So I have a reminder for that. I have reminders to, you know, call my parents. I have reminders to publish this podcast, to take out the trash. So like, you can make them recurring and you set it and then you just know when you need to do that. And it's just a friendly reminder that pops up.
And I love that you set reminders for when when you do your laundry.
Yeah.
Because when we used to have our washer and dryer in the basement, I can't tell you how many times I'd put it in the washer and I would get lost in another task and I would completely forget to transfer it into the dryer, and then I'd be like, God damn it, I got to rewash it because it's been sitting there for so long and now it smells. So I think it's so crazy, like that small little reminder, how it can just help you with like little tiny things to make your life just a little bit easier.
And it's really easy again with like the Google assistant. It's just as easy as saying, you know, hey Google, remind me to take the laundry into the dryer in 1 hour, and it'll do that. Or you can set a timer. Like it just really depends on how you want to do that. So that, again, like the deep integration with the Google Assistant, like just really helps out with that. And again, like with tasks, you know, that's just another cool thing within Google Calendar that can help you keep track for larger projects. You can name projects and then the individual tasks that go along with that. I don't use that feature as often as I do reminders and events, but it is also just nice to have that. Another thing for organization, and which kind of ties into the Google Assistant, is called Google Keep, which is a note-taking app. And you can put stuff in there like, let's say you wanted to go to Home Depot and you have a specific item that you're looking for. You pull up that item in the, in your internet browser. You can save that link into Google Keep, and that way you can just bring it up very easily. You know, when you get to the store, it'll come right to the product page, tell you which aisle it's in. One of the cool things that you can do with Google is set notifications based on your location. So they're location-based reminders. So with Google Keep, let's take this Home Depot example further. You put that product in Google Keep and say, remind me of this specific note when I get to Home Depot. And you can actually use Google Maps. You know, it'll pull it up in the app itself and just put in Home Depot and make sure it's the right address. And as soon as you show up to Home Depot, that reminder will pop up. You'll have it right at the tip of your phone, and then you can go in and get your item and then head the heck out of there. So for me, again, it's about maximizing efficiency. It's me not wandering around Home Depot or me doing extra steps to try to figure out where this is. So
That blows my mind.
It's an awesome app. I do the same thing for like grocery shopping. Like I put in Google Keep, check boxes for everything I need at the grocery store. I set a reminder to when I hit Giant in Pantops to open up or give me a notification. And so boom, as soon as I walk in the door, I have a notification up. I just click on that and I'm off to the races shopping.
And I love Google Keep just because that's like my writing app. Like anytime I have like a thought for like a poem or a thought or an emotion, or just like if I don't have my journal around, or even my podcast notes, like I'll open that and just type in anything I'm thinking at the moment. And I actually have started using that for my Instagram captions. Mm-hmm. One of my new rules now for social media use is instead of like thinking of the caption as I'm in the app, it's like I write the caption off of the app, and then that way it's all ready to go, so I can just cut and paste and just kind of like put it in there. So yeah, Google Keep. It just blows my mind that you've been doing that for that long, and I just never asked you like any of these questions, and I'm just like, damn, that is super sexy.
Yeah. No, it's organization. It keeps things simple for me, and it allows me to more time and space to do things in my day, and get those gentle reminders when I need to do things. And again, like notifications can be they can cause a lot of distractions. So, optimizing your notifications on what actually deserves a notification and what doesn't deserve a notification. Like you can do that within your phone as well. Like my work email, I get a notification, but it's silent and it doesn't like pop up on the screen. Like the only way I can see that I got an email is if I slide the notifications shade down. And so like, it's not distracting. Like I don't want to be in my, bed at 9:30 and then a ding come up because, I got an email. Like that's just not happening. And then I also set do not disturb time frames. So like from 10 o'clock at night, I think I have it at 11 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning. I get no notifications, like no sounds, no nothing, unless it's somebody who's calling me, who's in my favorite contacts, which are just close family and some friends. And then people who call you more than once, that means it could be an emergency. So just in case that ever comes up, but I don't want to hear my phone going off in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and all of this I just did today because I didn't realize that was a thing. But the beautiful thing about you is that you enjoy this.
Yeah.
So you take the time to understand it and learn it and do it, where I'm just like, oh, it's just a phone. So you invigorate me to be more intentional with this device that I go everywhere with. Like, how can I use it the best to my advantage to align to my life versus like take away from my life? So it's just amazing. All of the little, options in this little rectangle in front of me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, most people just, use their phones for, distractions or whatever. And I mean, I don't want to say most people, but like that's tend to what we think about when people are having their phones in their hands. But there's a lot of other things that are going on there. From finance to budgeting, like that's another huge, strain of stress in a lot of people's lives. And it's as easy as just having my bank app, my credit card app, Google Pay, which is just an amazing app as far as like storing my credit card and my debit card on there. And those apps are actually really good because they do offer actually extra privacy because they're not actually using your credit card number or your debit card number when you make a transaction. They're using a virtual card number, which makes it a little bit more difficult for hackers to actually get in and steal your information. So,
which I didn't know.
Which is an awesome tool to have. So if you have Apple Pay or Google Pay or even I think Samsung Pay, those are just great things to have because they do offer a little bit extra security when it comes to your information and your credit card. I know a lot of people think of mobile phones as big security loopholes, which they can be, but you got to make sure you're always updating your phone to the latest OS and all that stuff, and make sure you're always updating your apps. And you can go in and easily just set up your Google Play Store or Apple App Store to automatically update apps, when there is an update available. So highly recommend that if you are using banking and budgeting apps, just because they can be vulnerable if your phone security isn't up. Another thing, when it comes to finance and budgeting is using Google Drive and Google Sheets. I have my spreadsheet of like my monthly bills. So whenever I get paid, I know to go into my bank app and make all my transfers to my accounts. Same thing is like keeping track of my credit card spending. I pay my credit card off every month, and I put money aside in my, I take money out of my checking account and put it into like what we call a club account anytime I do an expense. So that way I know that what I have is what I'm spending there. So like having all that on my phone just makes it a lot easier than me having to bust out a laptop, put in a couple passwords and toggling back and forth. It's all right there. I use my fingerprint reader as extra security in order for me to get in the app. So like, it's awesome. Like it's just,
oh my God,
it's
you
very
should teach
easy.
a class on like streamlining finance, like how to save money, how to, I don't, all
Yeah.
of it. Like it just, I never know the inner workings of your system. I just knew that like you were very efficient and very organized. This is like amazing.
I mean, to me, the phone just makes it all so easy. Like just being right there. And if Lucille's watching a movie and I'm not interested in it, I can just pull it out and like get that stuff done.
Get some adulting
Get
done.
some adult time done. But it's great. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on, I hope I'm not boring you all, because I find this stuff fascinating. And I think that, people just, they have their phones and they do their things, but just don't really understand like the true value that they can provide, and how easy they can make your day. And home automation is just another one of those things. And I'm going to speak more about our old house setup, because we had a lot going on there. And again, we were in the Google ecosystem, which is really Nest. If everybody remembers, like the Nest thermostat was like the first big Nest product that came out. Well, Google bought Nest, and now everything is like coming under Google Home Automation. So thermostat is awesome. We had the thermostat, we had the Hello doorbell, we had the Yale Nest lock in our old house, which means we didn't have a key. We had a code that we put in. And then we had the Nest Protect smoke detectors, which were just amazing. Those things are actually, I am ready to invest in those again in our house, because we have very sensitive smoke detectors, to the point where we can just open the oven and bacon is cooking and it'll set it off, even though we're not overcooking our bacon whatsoever. But the smoke detectors, if it detects a light amount of smoke, it'll just give you a warning saying, hey, we detect smoke in the house. Do you want me to go off? And then you just press a button and say, no, don't do that, please.
Yeah,
don't
I
scare
miss
the
them.
hell out of us. If it is heavy smoke, then it doesn't even ask you. It's just going to go off. So it's got better sensors in there than a lot of the other smoke detectors in your home. But I say all this to say is that you have all that control of those on your phone. So I was able to control our thermostat and really optimize that to make sure that we're not overspending on energy, and that when we're away from the house, which the thermostat can tell if you're away, if your phone's not in the house, then you can set it to a lower temperature or a higher temperature, just depending on if it's summer or winter, and save you a little bit of energy there. Obviously, the doorbell, you can communicate with your Amazon person or somebody's delivering a package. If you're not at the house, the lock was amazing because you never have to worry about losing your key. You just have to remember your passcode.
And even when people wanted to visit, it would be like, oh, here's your special code,
Yeah.
which we could change. I do
Yeah.
miss that tremendously. Yeah.
It was great. But then, like, to kind of take this a step further, like you have that management on your phone, but then there are things within your Google Assistant. So I'm kind of coming back to the beginning, called routines. And so again, a routine is triggered by a keyword. So I wake the assistant up, by saying the hot word. I don't want to say it right now, so I don't want my phone to open. But you say, "Okay, Google," and then you can just say simply "Good morning," and then just by saying "Good morning," you can have the time read out to you, the weather, your calendar events, your reminders, your commute to work time as it is right at that point. There's just a whole bunch of things that can happen. It can change the thermostat from one temperature to another if you don't have it scheduled. It's just amazing. And then like the same thing you can do when you say good night is it can adjust the temperature. It can tell you what's on your calendar for tomorrow. It can lock your front door. It can, I forget what else. There's just like so many different options that can happen by just triggering one word. So I just love, love, love the customization that you can do, and just how easy you can make things. Things that don't keep you up at night anymore. Like, did I lock the front door? And now you have to get out of the bed and walk to the front door to see if it's closed. Did I close my garage door? The thing can make sure your garage door is closed as well. So like, it's just comforting, like when you leave the house, that you can still kind of monitor it and just make sure everything's good there. So yes, I love this stuff. I can go on and on about it. I'm not going to bore you all to death. I hope I didn't. But yeah, like, just these little things that we carry in our pockets and in our hands every day just have such amazing power to make our lives a lot simpler. They can also make our lives more complex, just depending on how we use them. But, I see the greatness in these things. And anytime something new like this comes out, I geek out, because I'm just like, oh, Jill, we can do this. And I think in the past you would kind of just roll your eyes at me like, oh, he's playing with his toy again.
I was excited for you. It's just I had no desire to like learn how to do all the things, and now here I am, like how many years later, and now I'm like, oh my God, we finally I said it today to have a Google Assistant. So now, like, if I'm in the car and Seal wants to hear princess music, instead of me trying to do it while I'm on the car, like find things, I'm just like, hey, Google, play. And I connected it to Pandora, which was amazing.
That's the thing.
It's like one thing that I just did that I'm like already saves me chaos in the car. Like if, I want to do something for Lucille and not have to like pull over and stop and like try to do something unsafely while I'm driving, which may not happen sometimes, but yeah, like even the whole like programming my phone for bedtime, like putting it on disturb and like only these certain people can get through, like that was blowing my mind how you could do that. And again, I didn't take the time to appreciate this technology, and I needed someone like you in my life to show me just how powerful and how it can in fact streamline your life, not make you lazy. I think that's what I was conflicted. I kept thinking that I think of Wall-E, where like it does everything for you. I'm like, well, I can lock my door, or I can do that. But really, it's to the point where sometimes I'm very forgetful, and I want to be more efficient in remembering to do the little things. I think they're important, and my brain sometimes doesn't work so well.
Yeah.
With all the tasks that, or just being in the moment with Lucille, I'll forget. And so I'm seeing the light that it is not a tool that is making me lazier. It is a tool that is streaming.
It's optimizing
my values and making more time for them and space for that, and getting rid of the other BS that was not helping me. But so I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. And that is a great point about the driving and setting up the Google Assistant for that, because there is a driving mode where you can't get distractions. Like it's a bigger interface, and really it does well with voice. Like you can tell it to play certain music and it'll just do it. Like you can reply to text, like it'll read the text message you got out loud, and then you can reply. And I know a lot of people are very skeptical of voice when it comes to text message. It's really good. Like,
yeah, I've seen you
really
do it.
Good. And it's only getting better as we progress in technology. But yeah, no, all great points there, Jilly. Anything else before we dive into our resources?
No, I know that was really heavy and that was a lot of information. If you guys want to hear more about a specific topic regarding technology, Nick would love to dive into this, because like I said he is a complete nerd and a geek about this stuff. But I think it helps to have someone who's passionate about it walk you through it and just kind of give some pointers or like pros and cons, because he's the Google master over here. Yeah. Not sure about iPhone. I mean, I know there's a lot of things
I've had one before
correlated, but it could be a little bit different.
A little bit, but yeah, if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram at Nick Simplified, and I'm happy to help out.
Or on our handle for our podcast.
Oh yeah, at simplified.chaos
with the K.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Jilly, any resources here?
I do. So
besides me,
you were a very vital one. This was a blog post that was titled How to Declutter, Organize, and Streamline. And it said iPhone, but a lot of these can be applied to all phones. Are you looking at yourself in the mirror?
No, I was sipping water.
You were checking out your mustache.
No.
Yeah, you were. Anyway.
You caught me. I like to break a mental sweat as
I
well.
knew you were going to go there, and I'm so glad you did.
Now I am going to stare at myself.
All right, let me start the blog post. Here we go. Okay. Once my physical possessions were under control, I realized that although I had taken the time to clear out my closet and my bookshelf, I had let myself hang on to digital possessions long last when they served a purpose. And just like physical clutter, removing digital clutter reduces stress and gave me peace of mind. So even if you're used to the KonMari method on your wardrobe and narrowed down your books and files, you're not done if you haven't decluttered your phone. That's where I come in. And he gives some just certain things to kind of help kind of clear out the BS, just to make more room for like fun and ease.
Hell yeah.
Number 1, clearing out old digital notes.
Yes.
This is something that I actually started going into. As soon as I read that, I'm like, you know what? I have all of these notes in Google Keep, but I have not deleted any of them.
Do you archive them at all?
No, I don't know how to do that yet.
Swipe to the right.
Okay, learn
Swipe
something
the note.
new.
Swipe the note.
Number 2, keep only your very best photos. I need to get better at this because I'll take so many photos of our day with Lucille, and I don't go back and like delete ones that I'm like, no, I don't want to use that one, or it's not to my standards.
That's a tough one too. Like right now, we get free storage with our phones and Google Photos. I know that's not the case with all the phones that are out there, which I think that makes it more challenging or like more difficult to get rid of those photos that, you know, that you may have just taken, but really you're not going to go back. Like I just look at all the photos that are in my Google Photos right now, and it's just like, yeah, why did I even keep this one? You know?
And I think it's one of those. I know we on that the Marie Kondo Netflix. You know how she talks about, you know, and I never did this until I watched that, when she talks about her purse. And you don't have to worry about this because you're a man, but I mean, you could with a wallet. But like, she would empty out her purse every day just to look at it.
I do not have the George Costanza wallet.
But she would like take out like, you know, old receipts or old things that just keep collecting. So I think about that, like doing it the day of, like making it a routine. Like at the end of the day, look at the photos I took and then just delete the ones that I'm like, just know right away. Like, yeah, I'm not going to want this one. So I kind of, it's like another like simple routine just to kind of streamline the digital clutter when it comes to photos.
Nice.
So I think I'm going to start doing that. Okay. Banish unwanted emails. So basically, like, you know, unsubscribing from places you get emails from, which I'm really bad at doing that. I needed to actually take the time and stop procrastinating of just like unsubscribing from things that I did in the past. But yeah, and even like deleting in your delete folder, like that's a thing I keep forgetting to do. Like all of the files that are in your, once you delete them, they're not like deleted forever. You have to go in there and delete them.
You should be able to set. There should be a setting in there to delete after like X number of days. Like,
yeah, there probably
whatnot.
isn't.
Yeah.
I just don't know it. That's why you're here. Avoid downloading too many apps.
Yeah. I know I have too many apps on my phone. Most of them, like the apps that I would get rid of if I wanted to, are my work apps, but I kind of just need to make sure that they're all functioning correctly. So I have to keep them on there from time to time. And there's like just apps that I don't use as much, but like for the most part, my apps do have a purpose, but there are some that just kind of linger around, like the cranberries.
Oh gosh. Well, and they said even if you do have a lot of apps, just find a way to organize them more so your home screen looks clean, clutter free.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My home screen is straight clutter free. Like it is prim and proper. Like it's fantastic. I love it.
You don't have to gloat or anything.
Yeah.
Another one was delete old text messages, which I just did today and I feel really good about.
I saw you left 2 of our chat groups.
Did I?
Yeah, because you deleted our message.
It said oh God.
Yeah, so you're going to have some explaining to do to Pizzle.
I didn't. That's ridiculous. If they want to contact me, they know how to contact me.
I'm just teasing you. Let's
fact that you
let's just
noticed
say that
that?
I noticed. Well, because of we're all Google messages, so it's not a SMS, it's a chat. So it's when you deleted the message, you left the chat.
Okay. Sorry, not sorry. I feel better already.
I know. It's all good. We haven't chatted in a while together.
That's what it was. It was like so many old conversations I held on to thinking like, oh, I'll go back to that one day and look at it. And I'm like, I never look at it. It's like that piece of
texts are
clothing in the
always
closet.
moment. Like,
yeah, they are.
You never really go back to them.
They are. They are so in the moment. Yeah. And the last one that they had was determine which social media accounts you actually want to follow. So again, with like Instagram or Facebook, just being like really intentional with like, who do you want on your feed? Who do you not want on your feed to like align with the person you want to be, the life you want to live?
And you can use the mute functions as well. Like if you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings and not be their friends anymore, you can always mute them and just not see them in your timeline. Like there's a lot of tools to declutter your digital stuff.
Yeah, still learning, but this conversation, like I'm glad we did this episode because I'm sure there's other people out there who may be like me, like the non-digital queen that just like, yeah, it's just this tool that I use when I need to use it and it's fun and it does help me, but it's not real. It could be used better and save me time, energy, and just make my life a little bit more clutter-free on my phone.
That's right.
But yeah, that's the blog post.
Awesome. And then how about our quote of the day there?
Our quote of the day was from Anonymous. And do not say hip hop anonymous.
Damn it.
Yep. I called you out. Okay, here it goes. Values are the guiding principles that help you determine what is right for you and what is wrong for you.
Truer words have not been spoken, Hip Hop Anonymous.
So maybe before you do all that, maybe just figure out what your values are if you really don't know what they are. What do you really...
And that's what we're really trying to do. We're helping you try to figure out what your values are.
Is that what we're trying to do?
That's what we're trying to do.
I hope we're motivating, inspiring some people to do that.
Yeah.
If they're like, I have no idea what I value, then yeah, take some time, figure it out, and it streamlines all your decision making.
It does. And then your take action challenge, Jilly. Contact Nick.
Gosh. Streamline your phone to work for you and not against you, my friends. I am on that train and I am excited. Declutter the digital clutter.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. We hope you liked it. And if you did like this episode, please do us a favor and help us spread the message. You can do this by writing a review on Apple Podcast or iTunes, or simply by sharing this episode with a friend. And remember, sharing sparks a conversation, conversation leads to action, and action is how we're able to live a happy and intentional as hell lifestyle. We want to thank you all for listening today, and we will see you again next week.
See y'all later.